Resident Evil was never just about zombies. It was about children. Children turned into experiment. From the Wesker Project to Eveline and everything in between. This is the story of Umbrella Babies. Hey, it's Aladdin, and this is Resident Evil Classified. To understand Umbrella's obsession with children, we need to start with the man who believed humanity itself was a failure. Oswald E. Spencer. One of Umbrella's founders, he didn't just wanted power, he wanted evolution. He believed normal humans were weak, temporary, disposable, and he got his chances in 1950s. Call it bad luck or fate, he was saved by Mother Miranda after a very bad climbing accident. It was a coincidence. The young doctor found himself in the center of the spark that would change his world forever, the progenitor virus. He got his chance, been mentored by Mother Miranda, researching the mold for almost 2 decades. And so in 1968, Umbrella was born, built through powerful alliances and Spencer's twisted vision of human evolution. But even before his greatest experiments began, there was Lisa Trevor, the first true Umbrella child. In 1967, 14-year-old Lisa was abducted alongside her mother after her father helped design the Spencer mansion. While Jessica Trevor was killed almost immediately, Lisa was subjected to countless viral experiments, including the progenitor virus. And by the time we met her in Resident Evil 1, she was a shadow of herself. The child was broken, reshaped through endless experimentation, and from that moment on, Spencer's search for the perfect human had truly begun. Umbrella secretly gathered gifted children from across the world, children with rare intelligence, rare genetics, rare potential. They were stripped of their identity and all given the same surname, Wesker. Most of them died, some disappeared, others became test subjects. As far as we know, only 2 were survived, Albert Wesker and Alex Wesker. Albert was physically exceptional and highly intelligent, eventually gaining superhuman abilities through the prototype virus. Alex, while equally brilliant, was physically weak and later discovered she was dying from a terminal disease. Obsessed with Spencer's vision of godhood and evolution, she began researching ways to transfer consciousness and achieve immortality. That obsession eventually led her to Sane Island, where her horrifying experiments on children would begin. We've encountered these 2 individuals in their adulthood. As children, they were shaped by Spencer's hand, subjected to countless experiments, injected with false information that drowned them deeper into the Spencer alleged evolution hopes. They hated Spencer, the world and all humanity, that they felt superior to it in every sense of the word. And this is where Umbrella crossed the line forever, because after the Wesker Project, children stopped being people. They became vessels. Through the late 60s, although the Wesker Project became one of Umbrella's first successful attempts at creating the perfect human, another founder was working alone at the same time on something far more personal and far more disturbing. Alexander Ashford, son of Umbrella co-founder Dr. Edward Ashford. He lacked the brilliance of the scientists around him. Desperate to restore the Ashford family's lost glory, Alexander turned to genetic engineering instead of virology. Obsessed with his ancestor Veronica Ashford, he attempted the impossible by resurrecting her through cloning, combining Veronica's DNA with his own genes. Alexander created the Ashford twins, Alfred and Alexia, but the results were uneven. Alfred was intelligent, but emotionally unstable and deeply dependent on his sister. Alexia, however, was something entirely different, a true prodigy. By the age of 10, she had already become Umbrella's chief researcher in the Antarctica, and unlike her father, Alexia possessed the intelligence Alexander always wished he had. Using the progenitor virus and a Queen Anne DNA, Alexia created her own virus strain, the T. veronica virus, a virus capable of preserving intelligence while maintaining the human body into something far beyond normal humanity. But Alexander slowly realized the horrifying truth. His children didn't see humanity the way normal people did, especially Alexia. Terrified of what he had created and ashamed of how the twins were born, Alexander hid all records of the experiment deep beneath the Antarctic facility, hoping nobody would ever uncover the truth. But it was already too late. Alexia became obsessed with evolution and godhood, following the same path as Spencer and Wesker, consumed by jealousy and psychological damage, eventually turned them against their own father. Together, the twins used Alexander as a test subject for the T. veronica virus. The man who created them became their experiment. His body mutated into a horrifying creature known as Nosferatu, chained beneath the Antarctic base for years while workers above listened to his screams echo through the halls. And in the cruelest irony of all, the weapons Alexander secretly designed to stop Alexia one day, the linear launcher, would eventually be used by the rightful sibling to finally kill her, ending the Ashford bloodline forever. Years later, Spencer was convinced by his co-Umbrella founder, Dr. James Marcus, a virologist who played a significant role in the development of the T-virus, to start using clones instead of gathering intelligent children. And thus, they began working on secretly reshaping human evolution. The Raccoon City Orphanage. Officially, it was a place for abandoned children, but in reality, it was a human laboratory. Beneath the orphanage, Umbrella created clones, dozens of them, maybe hundreds. However, both doctors were getting their hand dirty with the ethical means of life. Marcus' obsession with his research led him to neglect his other responsibilities, sinking him deeper in the no-comeback zone. His research led to the unstable clones we witness in Resident Evil 9. Marcus' workers increased the amount of infected plasma, and everything went wrong. The children mutated, not zombies, but something worse. Creatures with regenerative abilities, distorted bodies, violent instinct, children possessed by the virus itself. The experiments were brutal. Surgical scars carved across their skulls, direct brain procedures, T-virus exposure, and memory implantation. And at the center of all of this, Marcus himself. He wasn't trying to create soldiers. He was trying to transfer his mind, his memories, his will into another human being, looking for immortality. Spencer feared his work, so he contacted him by what we know now as the Connection, another organization Spencer built secretly to protect Umbrella research from the inside. He framed his colleague as a traitor, and he was eliminated by both Dr. Albert Wesker and Dr. Birkin. And even after his death, his influence continued being stronger within the company, as some of his students continue his research. And here is the horrifying part. Using children actually made sense. A child's brain is still developing, is still adapting, is still forming connection. Umbrella believed younger minds could observe foreign memories more easily than adults. But children were also fragile. Most of them couldn't survive the virus, so Umbrella kept on making more until the day of the terrible accident. The orphanage became a massacre. Staff were torn apart, scientists slaughtered, bodies piled into coffins beneath the facility, and even after death, the children kept moving. By coincidence, one child survived, Chloe. Unlike the other, her viral dosage luckily was reduced, and her body wanted stability, a successful vessel. And for a moment, it almost worked. Chloe escaped the infected children, wandered through the underground labs, and slowly realized the horrifying truth. She wasn't adopted, she wasn't rescued, she was manufactured. But all of this suffering, all of these dead children, was leading toward one thing: Elpis. Spencer described Elpis as the next step in human evolution, a drug capable of controlling the human minds. But later, we discover the truth. Elpis wasn't a weapon. It was an antiviral, a cure. Maybe Spencer finally understood what he had created, or maybe guilt finally caught up with him. Because at the end, this leads to Grace Ashcroft. Unlike the clones, Grace wasn't created by Umbrella. She was simply an orphan Spencer adopted near the end of his life. But because she looked identical to the clone, everyone assumed she was the perfect copied vessel. Victor Gideon, The Connection, they all believed Grace was the key to Elpis. And so, the experiments started again, leading to names like Maria and Emily and the Jackson twins. But even before Grace, Capcom had already explored this idea once before. Natalia Korda, a traumatized little girl unable to feel fear after surviving Terragresha. To Alex Wesker, she was perfect. Not because she was strong, but because she was empty, a perfect vessel. Alex Wesker took Spencer's dream and pushed it even further. She didn't want it to preserve memories. She needed full consciousness transfer, immortality through another child's body, and Natalia became the host. The experiment technically succeeded, and we get Dark Natalia, Alex's co-beat consciousness. Spencer Vision survived inside her mind. One of the darkest endings in Resident Evil history, because unlike monsters or viruses, this horror was psychological. With all this darkness, there still was hope and light, preserved into this innocent child. Sherry Birkin, the child who survived Raccoon City. But survival came with a price. Dr. William Birkin was one of Umbrella's most brilliant virologists. But everything changed after he discovered the G-Virus. As tension inside Umbrella grew, the company sent agents to seize his research and silence him forever. Birkin was gunned down inside his laboratory, forcing him to inject himself with the G-Virus to survive. But the damage was already done. During the chaos, samples of both the T-Virus and the G-Virus were released into Raccoon City's sewer system, spreading through rats and insects, triggering the infamous outbreak that destroyed the city. Meanwhile, terrified Sherry searched desperately for her parent during the nightmare, only to encounter her mutated father. And because the G-Virus was designed to reproduce by implanting embryos into compatible hosts, Sherry became its target. Sherry was infected with the G-Virus as a little girl. Even after being cured, the virus never fully left her. It changed her forever. Years later, Sherry blood became the foundation for the C-Virus. Her body, her genetics, her trauma were harvested by governments and bioterrorists alike. Just like the children before her, Sherry stopped being treated like a human being. She became valuable because of what was inside her. Once she became an agent, she met another one of Umbrella's babies, Jake Miller. Even without Umbrella directly created him, Jake Miller was still born from his legacy. The son of Albert Wesker, Jake inherited the blood of one of Umbrella's most dangerous experiments. Raised in poverty by his mother in Edonia, he eventually became a mercenary to survive. Later, his unique blood would prove capable of resisting the C-Virus, making him yet another child shaped by Umbrella's sins. And even after Umbrella collapsed, the idea of the perfect child weapon never truly disappeared. Years later, the Connection created Eveline, also known as A001, using the mold discovered by Mother Miranda alongside the DNA of her dead daughter, Eve. Just like the Ashford twins and the orphanage children before her, Eveline was not born natural. She was engineered, artificially aged into the body of a 10-year-old girl. Eveline was designed to infiltrate families, manipulate emotions, and control minds through infection. Unlike traditional BOWs built for destruction, Eveline represented something far more dangerous, a weapon capable of controlling humanity itself. Similar and different from Rosemary Winters, yet another child born naturally, but suffers the same fate by the same company. And the question is, was Eveline able to be good if she switched places with Sherry Birkin? Because I think Sherry turned out differently. Maybe because she met people like Claire Redfield and Leonis Kennedy, people who gave her something Umbrella never could: hope. Because even though Sherry drank from the same poisoned cup as the rest of Umbrella's children, she never completely lost herself. But even decades later, Raccoon City still refused to let her go. By 2026, both Sherry and Leon began suffering from something known as Raccoon City Syndrome. Their bodies were slowly breaking down, destroyed by the nightmare they'd survived back in 1998. Surprisingly, Hope, or Elpis, the cure created by the same one who shaped this nightmare, Sherry and Leon, was cured.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
My research opened Pandora's box, unleashing disaster upon the world.
Except Elpis, the goddess of hope? Or so the myth goes.
A blind hope.
What do you mean?
Humans cannot predict when death will come for them.
Please know that you are my hope.
This is why they have hope. I was wrong, and I am plagued by guilt.
Umbrella didn't just create monsters. It created stolen childhood. Children raised as experiments. Children turned into vessels. Children forced to carry the sins of adults obsessed with power, evolution, and godhood. And that's what makes the Umbrella Babies storyline so disturbing. From Lisa Trevor to the Wesker Children, to Alexia Ashford, to Chloe, Grace, Emily and her friends, to Natalia Korda and Sherry Birkin, to Jake Miller, and finally Eveline and Rose. Resident Evil keeps returning to the same horrifying idea: children stripped of humanity and reshaped into experiments by people trying to play God. If you enjoy this deep dive into Resident Evil lore, this series will continue. Subscribe to AladdinsPlayz for more dark documentaries, hidden lores, and Resident Evil analysis. And tell me in the comment, who do you think was the most tragic Umbrella child? This was episode 1 of Resident Evil Classified. See you in the next video.